Bricks and Minifigs is your one-stop shop for all things LEGO. Hit the link below to find a store near you.
Hi, I'm Caleb Dahl. We're Neighborhood Bricks online, and this is the Boston Tea Party. So this was pretty much a personal build that I made for this last year, and then a buddy last minute was like, "Hey, can I help out at all?" So I gave him one of my plates. He made that house over on the back right, that white one there. This was a passion project of mine. In the past, for historical, I would do battle scenes and things of that nature, and I figured something a little bit more peaceful, showing some more American history, and what better than the Boston Tea Party? You have the houses, you have the harbor, you have boats, just a lot of cool details you can really, put together.
So where did you start with the project then, in terms of which part of the build you kind of wanted to base it around?
Okay, so the first thing I did was I designed the boat using Studio, and towards the end, I kind of had to, reshape the hull, let's say. It's kind of hard for me, at least, to do that online, so I did that in person. So boat was designed online. I actually finished it a couple weeks before the con, but the first real build was the buildings here on the left. You can see this tan house and this first of the red row homes. I built those back in September of last year, and then after that, I started to do kind of like the base of the layout, and then really just, over time, built it out.
What was your approach with the different houses and the kind of type of architecture you wanted to capture there, and what did you base that off of in terms of the research?
Sure. So online, I just looked up a lot of photos of Boston Harbor, and it is hard to find references from that time period. You can see paintings, some artist renditions of it. I actually used Assassin's Creed 3, the video game, because it really had a vibrant portrayal of the city. Just beautiful colors, beautiful details, all the barrels and everything. Just a very happening place to be, right? So that was my inspiration for it. Also, my grandparents' house, right? It's from the 1700s. So there, just looking at that, seeing all the shutters and all the details, I really wanted to pick out to put on these houses.
Yeah. And you can see it's very parts intensive. It looks like you use a lot of plates in there just to get that little level of detail.
Yeah, a lot of plates, a lot of tiles and cheese wedges and things, just so you can see those little cracks, right, to get that brick right. And I think it turned out well. You also have little changes in color in each one of these houses, just to show, it is a brick or something of that nature, just kind of filling in those gaps.
Yeah. So take us through the minifigures then, and kind of the different scenes you've got around the build here.
All right, well, I'll start out with the front and with the ship. So with the ship, historically, as you know, the colonists, they wanted to disguise themselves, and I don't really think they passed off that disguise. I don't think that anyone believed them for being Native Americans, but that's what they did. One, to try to disguise their identity, but two, to show that American heritage, to say that they identify with the New World. So those figures you kind of see around the dock up front, and those were put together using Pirates of the Caribbean, some of the custom guys around here, old Lego native elements, and then there's other things that can kind of mesh to fit that detail. Let's see. So the figures around here. Okay, funny enough, I showed up to the convention center and I did not have enough figs. So a lot of my friends had to come together, and they pulled up, a lot of the similar themes, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, other things that have that flesh realism that kind of looks like an older style of how people dressed back in the day.
Yeah. And what soldiers do we have represented around the build?
So in the very back, you can see like a little squad of British. So at the time of the Boston Tea Party, half the city was actually there. So realistically, there should be way more figures here to represent approximately 8,000 citizens seeing it. So the British, showing up in the back, not enough to really make a difference with all these people. There's no way they're controlling this riot that's going down in Boston. And I just wanted to show, that there was some sort of presence and that they are not happy about it.
So you mentioned this ship earlier. It looks really fantastic. Take us through some of the details there and your design process on that.
Sure. So when I was designing it, I looked up reference photos of ships of that time period, and the first one I saw was beautiful. This, the dark tan with the black line around it, and then like the white hull. I was like, that is just a very satisfying ship to look at. So I used that as my base, and then I really focused on using slopes to get that nice curvature for the hull. Moving up from there, I knew I wanted to use a lot of those brown tiles, right, to get that wood planking going along in the center of it. And then all of the kind of metallic details would either be done in black or in dark gray, just to show some variation and to really make them pop against the brown wood. So for the sails, I bet you're wondering what that's made out of. So initially I wanted to use some sort of cloth and get that sewn. That did not happen, a week or two before the convention. So those are actually tissues that are rolled up very, very tightly, and they are held together with rubber bands. And hey, they're not sailing, so that works, right? The string, hobby string, I didn't want to buy the Lego string because that is very expensive online. And that's how it came together.
And then how did the kind of roadways and this dock come together to create kind of the base for the whole build?
Yeah, so when I was doing just the start of it, I really focused on where I wanted the cobblestone street to go. And I wanted to feel natural because, cobblestone, it's a lot, in Boston, a lot of it was really rock at the start. They built up cobblestone over time, but it wasn't like perfect. So I just wanted to get that natural shaping kind of with how it flows around with the dirt and everything. So I put a lot of tiles down at the base. As you can see, these are just one by one, just sitting on top of tiles, so you can get that nicely tight packed. So just tile sheets along the bottom of it. And then I just kind of, as I went around the perimeter, I would shape it with wedges and other plates of the dark tan and the olive green to just kind of, just slowly flow it in, and then it came together with time.
Yeah. And do you know how many pieces are in the whole build?
That is a loaded question. I have no idea. I can say that I probably spent, just in new parts this year, maybe $600 on it. But that's also years and years of parts collecting. If I wanted to give you a rough estimate, let's just say 25,000 pieces.
And what was the setup process like in bringing this out to BrickFair?
So I knew from the start, after years of exhibiting here, that I wanted this to be very sturdy in all aspects. So the houses, they can lift off, and I was packaging them in individual boxes, and I would wrap them up, with blankets and such, just so they wouldn't be damaged from the drive over. And then, of course, the plates all slide apart.
Okay. Fantastic work. Thank you so much for all the detail you put into this layout, and appreciate you taking us through it.
Yeah, thank you.